Alright, today let's take in some hate from people and talk about the worst series that we got recently from the Dragon Ball franchise. Imagine you're waiting for the return of your favorite franchise. You've been patient, sitting through reruns, reading the manga, rewatching old fights, and dreaming about what comes next. You want more epic transformations, more legendary fights, and a continuation of the hype that made Dragon Ball the king of anime. And after years of waiting, Toei finally announces something new. The fans get hyped, the theories start flying, and instead of a Super Saiyan 4-tier greatness, instead of Ultra Instinct level battles, instead of a continuation of Super, we get Goku running around as a goddamn chibi. This is what we waited for? Welcome to Dragon Ball Daima, a show so unnecessary, so uninspired, so blatantly a worse version of GT that it might just be the worst thing to ever happen to the franchise. Even GT felt like a decent take than this shit. And today we're breaking down why Daima is even worse than GT. Before that, please subscribe if you are new to our channel for more anime content. Now let's dive in. Alright, let's get one thing straight. Dragon Ball GT was already controversial, but at least it tried to be something new. It had an original plot, new stakes, an intergalactic adventure, and Super Saiyan 4, one of the most badass forms in the entire franchise. GT's setup? Goku gets turned into a kid by the Black Star Dragon Balls, and he has to travel the galaxy to collect them before Earth is destroyed. Now let's look at Daima. Goku gets turned into a kid because of magic, and they have to go to Demon Realm to rescue Dende. And instead of a galactic adventure, it's just random fantasy settings with no clear stakes. Since when Dude Dragon Ball became a rescue mission anime, the original Dragon Ball was an adventure comedy, but Dragon Ball has evolved from that long ago. It's literally the same turn Goku into a kid plot, but with even less effort put into it. GT at least gave us a solid villain in Baby, who actually had a grudge against the Saiyans. It brought the forgotten elements of the show, like great apes and the Saiyan history a bit, a world-hopping adventure that expanded the universe. Super Saiyan 4, which looked and felt powerful. But Daima gives us magic shenanigans that reset everything for no reason. A mystery villain Goma, who probably won't be memorable. Chibi Goku. Again, if you're gonna rip off GT, at least improve on it. But instead, Daima just shrinks the characters and expects us to care. Now, let's talk about some or maybe all the problems in Daima. Firstly, the pacing. The series has its inconsistent pacing. Some episodes are felt as sluggish, failing to capture the adventurous spirit of the original series, while others rush through plot points, leading to a disjointed viewing experience. One episode in particular was when Goku and others encountered the Giant's Island, which felt like a filler episode and added nothing to the overall story. The only good episode was Goku vs Tamagami number 1. All other battles felt flat, and they did Vegeta dirty even in Daima with his fight against Tamagami number 2. He might have won, but was done dirty in the fight few times. Next up was underutilized characters. Many fans have expressed disappointment over the minimal involvement of beloved characters, particularly Gohan. Despite his rich potential significance in the Dragon Ball universe, Gohan's role in Daima was nothing. He was completely absent from the story, and was overshadowed by Goku, Vegeta, and new characters. Next up. The introduction of new antagonists, such as Majin Buu, has been contentious. The design and development of these villains were boring, feeling they lacked the depth and menace of previous adversaries in the franchise. Just look at the final villain, Goma, whose design completely resembled Jiren. It's like he's the early access Jiren who felt flat to consider a threat. While the fights might look good in the series, the final battle was just tournament of power copy and paste for. Me just watch the tournament arc of Super, and this fight you will see the resemblance. And let's not forget how they handled Super Saiyan 4. In GT, they did justice to its transformation, with Goku transformed into Great Ape, and then controlled it and achieved Super Saiyan 4, but Daima simply put it as fan service. Goku achieved it magically put of nowhere, and it ruined the epic transformation. Some might have liked it, but GT did it better. And the ending also felt so horrible when Goku found the third eye in a store. Like, we went through all this shit, and the villain's great power was nothing but a store-selling item. Like, what was the point of telling all this story if it was all but a big joke? And let's not forget, it's not into the same continuation of the story. It's more like set in alternate timeline. We never get any answers, like by Supreme Kai and Kibito still are unfused. Now let me ask you, did anyone want this? Did a single fan say, hey, you know what would be great if Goku got nerfed into a toddler again? No, because no one asked for this shit. This isn't a continuation of the franchise. This isn't a bold new step forward. This is Toei recycling old ideas and repackaging them as new, while avoiding anything from the manga that would actually make fans happy. Every great Dragon Ball arc has stakes. Frieza, the fate of Namek and the Saiyan legacy. Cell, the survival of Earth and the evolution of Saiyans. Majin Buu, the literal destruction of the universe. Tournament of Power, the existence of entire universes on the line. Even GT had something. Earth would explode if they didn't find the Black Star Dragon Balls. Now what's Daima's conflict? Uh-oh, we're kids now, guess we gotta fix it. That's not stakes, that's a fucking filler arc. They could have went to Namek and restored their adult forms using Name Key and Dragon Ball, but no, let's just go there as kids. The story felt so flat right in that moment. When Goku was turned into a kid in GT, at least it felt like a struggle. He had to adjust to his old, weaker body. His enemies didn't just see Kid Goku and think he was a joke, he still felt like a threat. But Daima? Goku looks like he belongs in a Saturday morning cartoon. Where's the tension? Where's the power? Where's the Dragon Ball we all know? And finally, let's talk about the late great Toriyama sensei. Look, I have nothing but respect for Akira Toriyama. The man is a legend. He created a franchise that changed anime forever. Toriyama deserved to go out with a masterpiece. A story that showed why Dragon Ball is still the undisputed king of anime. Instead, Daima is a nostalgia cash grab with zero originality. This was the man's last chance to leave one final legendary mark on the franchise. Instead, his swan song is Chibi Goku the anime. That's not just disappointing, that's insulting. If they had used the Demon World idea in Super with adult versions of our characters and made a serious threat villain, fans would have loved it. But we got a worse version of GT, copying the Kid Goku idea but removing any real stakes. It's not what the fans wanted. We asked for Super Season 2 and got some dumb magic gimmick instead. It has zero stakes. Turning into kids isn't a real conflict, it's a joke. It's a weak send-off for Toriyama. His last work deserved to be something legendary, not this lazy excuse for a series. At this point, Daima is the worst series in the franchise. It's not just the worst series in Dragon Ball, it's a waste of time. Toei had the perfect chance to keep the momentum going with Super, to adapt the manga arcs, to give fans something new and exciting. Instead, they hit copy-paste on GT, took out anything interesting and said, "Here you go, now buy some new Chibi Goku toys." And that, my friends, is why Dragon Ball Daima is the worst fucking thing to happen to the franchise. Now share your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more anime content. And can you in the next one, my Z Fighters?